Alrighty, what is going on, BTU family? Just double checking here, making sure we actually are live this time. Yeah, looks like we're good. So, what is going on, everybody? I got Mr. Coulton Wood here. Is it Wood or Woods?
Woods, yeah, that's fine.
All right, so we got parents back. If you're catching this on the live, go ahead, hashtag live, hashtag replay. If you're catching it on the replay, this is very exciting for me. You guys in Hack MLM, if you guys don't know, Coulton, he's pretty much the main moderator over at Hack MLM, or admin on there. Well, why don't I let you kind of tell the story of how Hack MLM formed? It's kind of a special thing for me because you guys were like the first regular guys out there, in my opinion, at least. I kind of viewed you guys. I'm like, wow, these guys are like me, and they're doing what everyone is talking about doing, but I don't see any other regular people doing. Like, I'm sure there is other ones out there, but like for me, I'm like, you guys were wearing t-shirts, jeans, making commercials, blowing stuff up, just having fun being you. And that was super, super exciting to me. And it really gave me a lot of hope. So would you mind just kind of like giving a little bit of a brief story about how Hack MLM came to be?
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good question. So I'll try to make it a short-ish version of that story.
Sure.
But it really honestly started, holy cow, back in like 2000, I want to say 15, somewhere around there. So it's been 6 years ago that this really started, maybe even longer. When I first met Steve, he was actually recruiting people into his first MLM. That is the whole reason that any of this has actually happened, because his whole experience with that MLM was just absolutely horrible and traditional, but that's not the way he works. And that's not the way he likes to do things. And so funny enough, when we met back in college, he was recruiting me into that MLM as well. And it's a long story, but essentially he recruited a bunch of people. They did nothing, absolutely nothing. He only recruited like 13, which apparently people only recruit like 2.3 people on average. So he did pretty well actually for that, but none of them did anything. He was like begging people to get into it. And so it like sparked something in him. And I remember talking with him about that because I had lost all faith in MLM. I'm not going to lie. I had lost all faith in doing network marketing, any of that stuff, because of that same kind of reason. Like, all right, let's call your friends. Let's get all your friends in. Let's just, pound your list of family members and stuff. And I'm like, I don't ever want to have to go through that again, like ever. It was just such a bad experience. He literally has lost friends over it. And so I remember back then in like 2015, 2016, he's like, this is what I want to do because I don't want anybody else to have to go through that experience like I did. And he started to show me what he was building. And I'm like, dude, that's really cool. But I wasn't really interested in MLM or network marketing at all anymore. So I was like, that's cool, man. Have fun with it. And then we ended up splitting ways for a bit after college and came back when in 2018. And we started working together again. And he's like, bro, I figured it out. This is how we're going to do it. And we literally automated pretty much all of that stuff and made it so that people were coming to us instead of us going to them. And that was literally like the first big product Steve ever put out, was that teaching people how to do that. And I don't remember the exact numbers, but when we launched that, because it's such a disruptive thing, it was like well over $100,000 on the launch alone, just there. Because of how many people were frustrated with that same thing that we were. And then Hack MLM actually came about because we're like, all right, how do we train our downline and give them the best resources we can without having to do it every time for every person? So we literally set up a whole system for it. And now people come in and they just run with it, and we have training and we don't have to do it one-on-one, So there was a lot behind that, but it's been a long time in the coming, and really is just there to help a lot of people. So it's pretty cool that way. But Does that kind of give you a good overview of how that came about?
Yeah, well, it's interesting to hear that you got involved. Well, actually, by the time you were in college, you were already like, no more network marketing.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, I didn't even hear about network marketing until I was in my 30s. Well, I am in my 30s, but, you know, until I've only been in for about 3 years. I joined
That's pretty cool.
2018, traditional way. Buddy got me involved. But because I already had another business, I knew kind of like right away that leads were going to be an issue, right?
Mhm.
Because I was having that issue with my other business. And my buddy that was kind of running ads for me, he was doing ClickFunnels. I had to have a surgery. So it kind of all happened right around the same time. I signed up because I was going to be on my butt for about 6 weeks because of my knee. I started the One Funnel Away challenge, and I just kind of like dove headfirst into, that marketing style training.
That's cool.
You know, I didn't really come across you guys for a little bit. I mean, I seen Steve because he did like the tech stuff for One Funnel Away, but I didn't really uh, I didn't really follow him until a little bit later on. But one thing I thought was very interesting about Hack MLM was the group mentality, right?
Yeah.
You guys were, because I mean, I'm aware of what paid prospecting is, and that's what we teach. We highly promote it. We don't force people to charge for other stuff. If you want to just use it as an offer stack or something like that, that's on you. But we highly promote paid prospecting just because I personally feel that it's really the better way to make a career out of this, right?
Mhm.
And it's kind of like what separates like the potential for um, somebody to be able to have some success, really do what they're passionate about, and make good money doing it,
Right.
right? So how quickly did you guys like start to partner up with now is your umbrella company or whatever, is that like Capitalist Pig or what is that?
That's a great question. It's actually Pursuit of Profit.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, everything. There's capitalist pig everywhere, obviously. But
Right.
yeah, it's not under that name. But yeah. Um,
So how quickly did you guys like come figure out that like we need to treat this thing over here like a real business, and this will be kind of like the plug that brings people in to basically give them options, right? You can work with us, with our MLM, and there's an offer over there, or you can, we'll help you guys with your network marketing opportunity and so on and so forth.
yeah, so that's super awesome. I love that you teach people to start with the paid prospecting part of it. Because if you don't, it's a long road. It's just the way it is. So many people just try to like create free stuff or products around their things. That's a great way to start it as well. But when you get the paid prospecting part, you're actually getting paid for your own leads that are coming in. So it's like, why wouldn't you do that, right? So we found a way to essentially use that, and then we're like, we got to teach this, right? Because once you know something, you want to help other people with it. But the great part about a paid prospecting thing is instead of just going out and giving things away for free or content, but when you have your own product, you actually are attracting the exact person that you want as well. And that's a big thing that people don't realize is paid prospecting products are there to liquidate your money, your ad spend, so that, and I feel like I remember talking to you about this, and I think this is what kind of got you excited. Am I right? The liquidation part of it.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
mean, just the thought of having something of my own to
Uh-huh.
promote that I believed in, you know what I mean? Because I think at the time I talked to you, I was kind of like, falling out of love with, I was kind of where you were in college, right? Where I'm like, this just doesn't work. I was falling out of love with it. And when I saw that you guys were selling stuff,
Right.
not just your program and your trainings and stuff like that, but like you actually had things that you were like selling, it's just like kind of to recoup costs and get these, get customers coming in for basically nothing. I was like, wow, that's super interesting. I really want to learn more about that.
And that's really the great part about it, is because a lot of times what people do too is like they'll send leads to their MLM and they're like, go sign up or go do this. Well, most MLMs really suck at conversions. Like they're horrible at selling, but they have like a lot of them will have great products, but they don't know how to sell it. And so if you're sending them straight there, you're not getting the conversions, plus you're not getting the leads for follow-up. You're not getting the emails. You're not getting any of that stuff. So you're just wasting money essentially because of how bad a lot of those conversions are. When you have that SLO though, you're collecting all of that data for yourself and you own it. Not the network marketing company that you're in. You own it. So then now you can go back, you can email, you have them as your own customer list. And that is like where the gold is right there. But we actually we started doing the SLO just literally to get rid of our ad cost. And so everything after that was pure profit, just money coming in. And we used it for a $9.97 product as well. That was teaching a lot of people how to do it in their MLM. And then naturally, like we didn't pitch anybody there because we wanted them to feel, and we wanted them to know that this is for them. We're not trying to make a group where everybody's pitching each other and doing all that stuff. But we're actually teaching them the same principles. Naturally, people that are interested in the same things as we are and that are frustrated with their MLM, now they know who to go to as well for that stuff. So when you teach it, they know who to come to now. So naturally we're getting leads from there. Plus we had other products that were SLOs, and literally just like making the money before we even got them into build our company or build our downline. Cause that's, it's not sustainable otherwise. Like, I don't know what your experience was before you started doing that, but like, how was that, like, was it sustainable or not,
Well, the thing about selling online is, well, I mean, you're in a health and wellness style thing. I know that that's not your marketing message, right? But ultimately, like when I was in your downline for a little bit, when I was doing it, I was doing pretty well. Like I was selling probably like $3,000 worth of just 5-day experiences every month, right? But the number one thing that I found was, because I managed to find people that just wanted 5-day experiences, but they didn't want to buy or want to get on monthly things, right? So like what I talk to people about in our community is that, every time you figure something out, it's a level, you know what I mean? And you've completed that level, you're going to go to the next level, but guess what? There's going to be new obstacles, new things. I always refer to it as like game of Mario, right? Every castle, you conquer that castle, but then there's going to be another level with another castle for you to conquer right afterwards. And, and the cycle will continue. And even when you complete, guess what? There's another game, right? Here comes Mario 2, right?
There's another boss to be.
Right. So it never ends, just like your education and stuff like that, being in mentorship, mentoring people, these things never change. But, the biggest thing is having your value ladder kind of like in line so that once they reach the castle and they complete the castle, it makes sense. It's a no-brainer for them to go on to the next level. In fact, they're excited, they're ready, they have momentum going behind them. So, typically, you could say it's, oh, well, that's more of a health and wellness, that's more of a something like that. But in reality, it's everything. You want to get people, you want to get them their momentum building, and you want to get them results as soon as possible, right? Because without the results, the momentum dies down, the excitement dies down, and then people get, bored and they go somewhere else, or they think it doesn't work. So it's really about, everything that we create, it has a beginning, as far as like our courses and stuff goes, and there is an end to it. However, and you can get results, and you can get really good results, but there's different levels, and depending on where you want to go in your business, because, what I found is that a lot of people, they don't want to build a list. There's just people out there that, that they don't want to have all the headache and everything like that that's involved with actually marketing, and the responsibility of, continuing and giving value to the people that you're putting on your list and following up with them and all these things. So for them, we have an offer that we created for an MLM, which basically it's a chatbot system. You plug your people into the chatbot, and that does the follow up for them, right? Because like you said, most MLMs, although they spend a lot of money on websites and stuff like that, they don't do follow up for you. And if the follow up that they do is not great, so to speak, right? Because here's the thing: is online, people are already aware of the product, right? When I'm looking at a product, my first step is, okay, what's the best? Where can I find it? And who's got the best offer? Right. So I don't because I know the game, right?
Right.
And I'm at a point now where most of the people that I'm connecting with and stuff like that, they know the game as well. So I always try to make sure that my offers are solid, because online, people buy from the person, right? They buy from the person that's promoting, because they could get, a supplement or whatever anywhere, right? But what makes it different buying it from me? Well, buying it from me, I do 2 Zoom classes a week where we go over nutrition, and we do this and do that. Right. When people used to buy from me, from when I was on they would get a keto cookbook that had 5 days, a 5-day meal plan. Why? Because it's a 5-day experience. Maximize your 5-day. Right? Cool, maximize your 5-day. And then also, when you would buy from me, you would get access to my secret membership site where I taught you how to get free products, right? So over there, I'm starting to talk about, okay, we all know that this kind of stuff can be expensive. However, there are opportunities for you to do what I do, and I don't pay for the stuff. I hit my goals, and I had that whole thing mapped out. So onboarding, stuff like that. As far as like Hack MLM goes, now has the company, the MLM that you guys promote, have they ever approached you about like building a similar system for themselves?
That's funny. They themselves, we've had conversations about that. And it's kind of interesting that they haven't taken us up on as much as I was expecting them to, but I'll tell you, a lot of those MLMs, they actually kind of don't understand the funnel world, or the world that we really come through, because a lot of those guys that started are still traditional, but then they're also they've got a lot of liability too. So I get why some of them are hesitant on it, but it's really interesting. We actually built it, and they went through all of it, and they did ask us to change a few things before we published it. And so we just made some minor tweaks and stuff, but yeah, it's like we literally, and we let them know, like, hey, anybody up the top, like if you guys are really wanting to get somebody in here for some training through us, like we're open for that. We can get it to them. But it's really interesting. It's almost like they didn't want the liability for themselves to do it, but they were totally cool with us helping their team, or everybody down there. So yeah, I'm really shocked that not more of them do that. But funny enough, we're actually in conversations with a different MLM that we've helped quite a bit lately. We haven't like actually gotten or signed up underneath them or anything, but they saw they saw how much the funnel game can do for them. And we actually built them a funnel. So we built a funnel for our previous one, and they kind of didn't really, it was sad. They didn't really care or take us up on it. And it was a beautiful funnel. Oh, I would have done so much. Like, it's so sad to see such a good thing just kind of go to waste. But then this one, we actually had them pay us up front for it, and we built it for them and got them running. They see the value of it. And that for us is like huge for that. But not all of them see it. It's kind of sad. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because this is a question that, like my personal story with this was, like I said, almost day one getting involved with network marketing, I was instantly on ClickFunnels. Do you ever feel that maybe teaching people how to build the funnels and everything like that can be almost like a distraction, or something that can kind of keep them from getting results or staying involved? Because, I mean, let's be honest, like, although a funnel is a very important part of the process, and that's kind of suggestive, because, I personally believe that, basically the platform is my funnel kind of, but that's a little bit more technical. However, my thing was, when I got involved with it, I was trying to get a coach, be a coach, I was watching the podcast and stuff. And, like I kept hitting, these roadblocks. And for me, it took me probably about a solid year before I actually created something that converted into a sale. And, my personal story was that I was at a point where I was so financially messed up, to put it lightly, because of, trying to run my other business, trying to do this thing, and, just not really getting the results that I felt like other people were getting, and not really understanding why. So do you feel that, teaching funnels and stuff like that could be a hindrance, or is it more or less kind of like defining and making sure everybody's like on the same page going into it?
Yeah. 100%.
I know I was kind of all over there.
No, that's a great question. Real quick too, before I answer that, you mentioned something earlier about using chatbots to build it instead of like growing their own list and worry about that. Your chatbots is 100% your list. Like, that is a list, and you own that. So that's what I'm talking about right there. Like, you own some sort of amount of people that are on a distribution channel, whatever it may be. Even if it's like, I own this Facebook group that I'm running, that's your list, So build that, is what I'm saying. And then second off, funnel, is it a distraction? 100% for a lot of people, total distraction. It's really funny to me how many people will come to us and they're like, man, if I just had a funnel, I'd be successful. And I'm like, not true. Like, that's not the only thing you need, like, the funnel is like the sexy part of it, but it's what goes into it, and it's what happens in order for the funnel to work. So the funnel just collects the cash. Everything before that is what makes you the money. The funnel doesn't make you the money. The funnel is the cool thing that automates and does all this cool stuff. But if you just do that, you're not going to be successful in it. You have to know the stuff before. So that's why if you watch the videos in the Hack MLM, we actually don't even get to the funnel for a while, because we know that it'll be a distraction. We actually locked it from people so they couldn't have access to it like day one, and which pissed a lot of people off for some reason, but I get it too. And we're like, no, go do the other stuff. Like, do the first initial things to get started, and then worry about the funnel. Like, the funnel's cool, but it's not going to get you the money right away. It's all the stuff that happens beforehand. So funnels are great. That's one thing that I like, super blows my mind. If you want to be successful in something, so many people will try. Back when I was in college, I remember the first marketing class that I was going to take. Oh, and before I get into this, if you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comments. I'd love to see it. throw them in. Love it. So back in college, I remember I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to college for being in business, and I want to be an entrepreneur, which is really funny. I had just decided that like a year or two before. I didn't realize that's what I'd been doing like my whole life anyway. So I get into college, and I remember like the second or third semester, because you're supposed to take all these foundational classes, you know, the stuff to get your, I don't even know what's before you get your bachelor's, it's associates. That's it. So you got to take like all these classes to get your associates, and then you can get into the stuff that makes you, or the stuff that you really want to, you know. But I was like, forget that. I'm starting it like as soon as I can. So I think it was like the second or third semester I got in. I'm like, I'm going to take this business class. And I remember reading the description, and it was like, you will start a business in this class and like try to sell something. And I'm like, that sounds so freaking awesome. Like I would love to do that. Like, that's what I want to do. Like, let's get started, you know? So I took this class. I knew nothing about business. I knew nothing about an LLC. I didn't even know how to set up a business, you know? I didn't know marketing. I didn't know anything online. Literally was like brand new. So I take this class, and I was trying to figure out what I was supposed to do. And like nick of time, I figured out something that I wanted to do, only because I had been in a situation that kind of helped me see that I could use that as a business. So I start this business, and I'm super excited about it. I remember I paid for, actually I got one free ad from my teacher. No idea what I was doing. I put one ad out and was like, hey, 20, 30 bucks off of this, like this repair, because I was doing smartphone and tablet repairs. I literally fixed my phone like the week before, and that was the only phone I'd ever fixed. So I didn't even know what the heck. Like, I was like, I'll fix them for you, because there's YouTube. We have all kinds of, you know, information at our fingertips. So some like 2 to 3 people took me up on it, and I made money that first day. Literally made money that first day. I think I ran 2 more of those, and that was all I really needed. I was like running. I had traffic, and I was doing stuff for people. I was making money. I had no idea I didn't even know what a funnel was back then. No idea. I just went and got started and put it out there. It was like, here's what I got. If any of you want it, cool, come to me and I'll run with it. And people were taking me up on it, and I learned it as I was going. And I'm like, crap, I'm right here and I'm stuck. I don't know where to go next. And that's actually when I remember I got to a point where I'm like, oh, this is as far as I'm going. Like, I'm not growing. I found a business partner at that time. We came together. We got a store together. We had our own brick and mortar like a year after I started that, like literally like a year after. And I had no idea. Like, I didn't even know what the heck like I was doing. I was just putting it out there. And so many people get stuck on like, if I would have gone to every class in school and learned every single thing before I started, I wouldn't have remembered 90% of the things that I even did. But because I got started and I went to those classes, I was like, oh, I'm already doing this. I didn't realize that's what that term was, or what that thing is, or why you do that. Now I'll make a couple tweaks, and I'm doing even better. But so many people get sold on the fact that they have to build this massive machine, this massive funnel, and set up all these different things and all this crap before they can even say anything. So 100%, like the easiest, the fastest way to get it out there, run with that. And if like chatbots are great for that, like those are pretty easy to put in there and start pushing people to. That's a really fast way to get it running. Like, or just post something on Facebook and get a list going, or whatever. Like, just go say something about it and start saying a few more, and then build it as you're getting your people running. Don't get caught up in all the other, like, so many people like want to have access to all 30 days right away, and they want to watch everything before they do anything. And I'm like, that's not gonna, just watch day one. Because I know this is probably not out of, or this is out of context, but Hack MLM.
No, for sure. People need to hear this.
But just run with it, guys. Come on.
Where should you start? Step 1.
Yeah, just do it, and then figure out step 2 as you need to.
Yeah. No, I love that, because one thing I definitely came to realize was that as much as we want to say no more old school, all new school and stuff like that. It's really the old school concepts are what work, right?
Mhm.
But what I think what people, hold on, let me just close this door real quick.
Yeah, totally.
I think what people mean when they mean new school is they mean the tactics, the strategies, the
Mhm.
delivery options that we have. That's the new stuff. The funnels, the chat bots. I'm talking about this stuff like I've been doing it for 30 years, but you know, but like in reality, right? It's the way in which you market yourself,
Mhm.
right? That is conceptual, right? You need to find that group of people. You need to get in front of that group of people. You need to
Mhm.
uh, you need to let them have the epiphany and all that kind of stuff. And you can do all that stuff on a funnel, or you can just do it by making a solid post and putting it where it needs to be
Mhm.
strategically, right?
Mhm. Yep.
And then also too, connecting with people, connecting with people. I mean, there's people out there that are crushing it and they don't even have a website. And
Yep.
that's because they understand the foundation, the fundamentals of business, right?
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong, like these are cool tools to have to process your traffic.
Right.
But without the basic understanding, yeah, and there's always this misconception that it's the funnel that brings the people.
No.
No, it's you that bring the people,
Yep.
and being yourself. And that was, definitely one of the cool things that I gravitated to you guys from, was just because, you guys were like regular freaking people, right? You weren't the guys that were making the ads were like, hey, you want to see my computer screen? And look, I made $1 million. Like, no, you guys, and granted, like, you guys probably could do some of that stuff and
Mhm.
show real results. However, that's not your message, right? And
No.
that's not what you're trying to go out. And hey, if that is your message and that's what you're trying to do, then hey, if that's you, that's you, if that's you authentically. But that
Yeah.
wasn't me authentically, right? I was a guy, a contractor, an addict, a guy that was trying to do something different with his life, but barely making ends meet as it is, just had this hope and a dream, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I started talking about that stuff that people actually started to listen to me.
Yeah.
Because before that, when I was talking about The Secret or the laws of the universe or, all that other woo woo stuff that, hey, if that's you, then own it. But that wasn't really me, right? I know the 12 steps of recovery, and I see how there's a lot of relation between this and this, because it's both
That's
personal
cool.
development. And I just, after like 7, 8 months of trying to wear button up shirts and stand in front of whiteboards and all that kind of stuff, which, hey, nothing wrong with that. But for me, it just wasn't me, right? So I just started to talk about, uh, what was real for me, right,
Mhm.
and my message, and how I felt that that the skill set that I picked up during my recovery, it was going to guide me through this, and it was serving me well.
That's
Um, so when I started talking about that, I started getting people following me, and more often than not, when people would buy my little program I made. They told me that it was because of how authentic I was. Sometimes they
interesting.
would even say, "Hey, what's the thing that I just bought?" Because they bought me. They bought
Uh-huh.
who I was. They bought my experience. They bought my transformation. They bought, they want when people buy from the Become the Upline, the Clever Money Makers, and I'm sure from you guys over there, Hack MLM and Secret MLM Hacks and all the other different things you have going on, right? People could go to anywhere for training online,
Yeah.
but they see the transformation, they see the message that I have. So they're buying my philosophy of
Mhm.
business. They're buying my strategy of what I was able to take from, out there working and collecting all this information, and finally something clicked. And typically it's like, once you get those first couple sales, it's like dominoes are just coming
Yep.
down, right?
You're like,
But
whoa.
that is what people gravitate to, because you know, and I personally believe that this is the time for the average person to get online and do something with themselves, because people really enjoy, I personally believe that people really enjoy buying from somebody that's just like them, but was able to do something that seems unachievable, right? It
Right.
doesn't seem like it will actually work. So that's what, definitely when I saw Steven and you, and I'm like, these guys are, this is
Yeah.
me, right?
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that. One thing that I can say that I learned, which while being with you guys, which wasn't necessarily what you were teaching, but it worked really well, was I was taking all the information that you guys were teaching about funnels,
Yeah.
and I was just applying that, the theories, the philosophies, the strategies to like everything that I was doing. So if I was selling
Dude,
something
that's
on
cool.
eBay, I was making my offer stuff. If I was
Yep.
on my Facebook profile, that was now my YouTube channels. Those were all like anything that had a description area
Yep.
was getting bullet points and value stacks and all that kind of stuff. And
That's
like
awesome.
all of a sudden, people started clicking on the stuff,
Yep.
right? People started clicking, and I was like, wow. It changed my whole perspective, that just like, of what a funnel really, really is, right?
It's not.
Because, yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
it's a funnel isn't just like ClickFunnels isn't the funnel. Like they made the funnel word like awesome. They blew that word up, but like your chatbot is a funnel. The
Mhm.
Facebook profile that you go through is a funnel. Like even if you're whatever process you take somebody through is your funnel, and there's just different ways to do it. And we just try to target the automated part of it, like let's automate through ClickFunnels is what, we do, but you're doing a funnel already, and people that are traditional, that's their funnel. So yeah, funnels are just, but when you add the stuff that, yeah, like you were saying, when you start doing the value stack, when you start breaking down those beliefs based on the product, like everything we put out there, there's a reason it's laid out the way it is, because we know how people's brains work and we want to overcome the objections, and if you're not putting those in there, then people are going to have too many objections and they're not going to, but yeah, anyway, so I love how you're like, I related to you guys.
Yeah.
That is 100%, man. We're just trying to be real. Like I show up in shorts and a shirt and a hat most days. Like it's just, I want to be comfortable with who I am. I don't, I used to think that in order to be successful online or in business, I had to wear a suit and tie.
Yeah.
Like I used to think literally that was the only way, or like I had to have, be super professional and really boring, and it's not true. Like we just be you louder. That's really it. 100%. And we're definitely loud sometimes. I actually was just blowing something up a couple days ago. Like we just love to shoot. We love to do things. I'll be bear hunting this weekend. Like we just have a good time, and we try to be ourselves, and not, because people hear that. I've got a sales floor right here, and I'm like, hey guys, if you're trying to sell something that you don't believe in, good luck, man. Like it's not going to happen, because they smell that 100%. They can feel it. When your confidence is down here, they smell it, they feel it, and they know. Like people don't buy what they need, they buy what they want. Give them something they want, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and we can, I'm going to ask one more question here, and then we can wrap it up. Doesn't look like there's any questions in the chat here, but
Yeah, I saw Terrence said something. Yeah.
yeah,
That's
Terrence he just said that he believes in the power of chatbots, and feels that it's continuing to be the future. I do too. For as long as Facebook will allow it.
Yeah.
I think ManyChat is awesome. Well, just chatbots in general, but not to get too far off the topic. Something that you just said in the beginning. One of the first things you said was that you guys had a problem, and you were like, well, I wonder if other people are having this problem too. So you created something to solve that problem, and that was what was kind of like pulling in the traffic, right? And that's what we did too. And for us, when we did this last year, our solution for the problem had nothing to do with the company or anything that we were involved with. You know what I mean? But it was in alignment with what we are already doing, right? And our whole thing with it was, hey, wouldn't it be cool to create an offer that was completely unrelated to an MLM to see if we get people to sign up for it? And we did. And like in the first couple months, we recruited a couple hundred people. And
awesome.
But for us, it was like we wanted to get people into our world. It was kind of like the MLM thing is I mean, it's good. It's good to have. But like when people would come in, it was like, it was a distraction, right? Because we're trying to teach them, what we want to teach them. And then they're over here because they're excited about being in a new MLM and all that kind of stuff. But, at the end of the day, it was creating a solution for a problem that we saw that was pretty easy for us to create something around. And just to see how that had the ability to get people to sign up for something where up until that point, I'd stopped promoting my old MLM. I think I recruited like maybe 7 or 8 people the entire time. And a couple of people were family members, so they didn't really have a say in the matter. You know what I mean? But yeah, so to do that and, this company that we signed up with, they were so new that they didn't even have ranks. By the time they gave ranks, we were the highest ones. But, at the end of the day, like, I have no desire to be on an MLM stage. My only desire is to fulfill on my promise for the people that are coming in to become the upline group or whatever, through any means of, they find our trainings or whatever online and they reach out. That is my number one goal, is to help you get results and give you the foundations to be successful, whether you stay in that company, whether you just build your paid prospecting business or whatever, just to find your passion, your promise, and go out there and start fulfilling on that. That's the biggest blessing of this whole thing. And I found that through you guys.
Dude, that's awesome. I mean, that's exactly, I keep that Zig Ziglar quote, you help enough other people get what they want, then you'll get what you want.
Absolutely.
And that's it's one thing we talk about a lot of times too, is when you put yourself on that pedestal above people, how are they supposed to relate? Like, that's not fun. Nobody wants to look at you like, oh, you're so much better than I am. No, like when you do that, you lose all sense of respect. Like, that's just the way it is, and that's pretty cool that you say that, because that's all we're here. Once you find out what your pain is that you've overcome, help other people, overcome that too. You'll be blessed essentially for doing that. It's just the way it is. Yeah.
Well, we're coming up on 5 here, so I want to be respectful of your time. I did want to ask you real quick though, what's the future holding for the Hack MLM crew? What do you guys have coming up? Anything you want to promote? Go right ahead. This is your time.
Thanks, dude. That's awesome. So yeah, Hack MLM, like I have not been I haven't been in that group nearly as much as I should be lately. I feel like we just got over something we called the event Mageddon, because it was literally like, it was insane. I feel like we had so many different events going on. And it was like every other weekend or every weekend. So anyway, we've got something coming up. We've got more events coming up, which events are awesome. Great way to learn a lot of stuff. So we've actually got one come up in July, I think 7th, 8th, and 9th, called the Modern Downline Live. And that's something that would be super awesome. Like, if you guys are in the Hack MLM group, we'll definitely be posting about it there and updating people and stuff. And if you ever want to let anybody know too, like, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
So what's the dates on that?
July 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Okay.
So it's not too far away. Yeah.
Is that going to be in the Hack MLM group, or are you going to be doing that?
We'll have hybrid tickets, and then we'll actually have tickets right here in our studio.
Awesome.
So our studio is literally across, like, just on the other side of this wall. And if you guys have you seen our studio, dude?
It's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
I don't.
It just
You
got
guys
done.
might.
So,
You
yeah.
guys might even have something new. So
It's pretty, dude. We've done so many events. We decided to just like build one in here because it will save us money essentially by just having our own right here. But we've got a big enough space for about 80 to 90 people. And then what we do is it's, you can watch it live as like a virtual event itself as well. So we'll have options for virtual or attending in here in person, but we it's like an unfinished skyscraper over there. Like you walk in, there's like I-beams and then the whole ceiling stars. There's a massive LED screen for the stage. And
oh, that's awesome.
there's a cityscape like in the background. So you actually feel like you're walking into an unfinished skyscraper in the middle of New York. Like it's just a complete transformation. It's we're having a lot of fun with it. But anyway, that's cool, man.
Super cool, man.
Thanks so much for having me on, dude. It's good to like catch up again and see how you're doing. And
yeah, absolutely.
It's cool where you guys have come. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, and likewise to see you guys still growing and scaling and doing big things, and I mean we love the Hack MLM community. That's awesome. Basically one of the I always tell people when you first start getting involved, you're in like the A-level gurus, which would be like your Eric Worre and all. I'm like once you find your way down to me, and you're probably like a step or two above. Like once you find your way down to us, this is where the party's at, right? We're the ones that we're in the trenches. We're having fun with this. We are who we are, and we're and we're just excited about it. And nothing against those higher level, but like when else would you have the opportunity to hop on with somebody like Coulton, or we've had Nico in the group.
That's cool.
We've had Jordan Mederick. We've had so many people in this group that it's because we live in the rabbit hole,
right?
And I love living in the rabbit hole because this is where the party's at, so
it's kind of hard to respect somebody that's not actually doing it, but they're teaching you this stuff. You know what I mean? Like we like to teach stuff that we're learning. Like we're always learning stuff, so we're always trying to teach more because things we learn new things, totally.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, man, really appreciate you guys. Anybody that caught the video here, thank you for watching. The replay will be in the group here, also on my YouTube channel. But with that being said, thank you guys for checking it out, and we'll talk to you soon.
Awesome.